Good day, first movers. My name is Joshua Kazo and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to turn a AI call into a transcript and then convert that into a proposal for your business. Now, please be minded, this will take a little bit of getting used to in terms of developing a system in which you go about getting the ideas of your clients and encapsulating it into a very systematic process of recording their needs, their pain points, and giving them a direction moving forward, and then presenting them with your service through one simple document. So stay tuned and I'll get started. Okay, so the first stage that I like to take, or I should say the entire team here at First Movers likes to take, is to at least have some form of tool to record conversations that you have with a client using a service that could get transcriptions. A lot of these services have some free elements, but some would really hide the text or capturing the transcript of the text behind the paywall. One such tool that we like to use is TLDV. It's like too long didn't view, and it affords AI the opportunity to basically just take whatever conversations you have with a client and craft a summary, more or less, and break down the details of that summary into a simplified transcript, or you could highlight the entire transcript. So for instance, I had a whole conversation with myself regarding a fictional characters, being Adam from First Movers and the prospective client being Sam. Sam is a farmer or a cowboy of sorts, and he wants to get help with marketing and lead generation for his business because he creates these little spurs and horseshoes, and he doesn't want to spend too much time writing and creating content. He just wants to make these spurs, but he doesn't mind being a one-person business during this time in his entrepreneurship stage, and just wants to add some little quick insights into developing content to get leads bought in. Now, the first thing is, as you would see here, will be a means for showing the videos that's recorded. So this one in particular was recorded with Google Meet, and I used the TLDV. Now, you remember, you could find whatever one that you think is most accurate. There's like Fireflies and a whole bunch of other tools. Some video recording software may have an upsell of transcription services or AI summary of transcription services built in. So for the purpose of this, I have this video here. Now in this, there's an option here, transcript. So you can see, because it was only me here, I had to dissect and try to talk in a way that there was a separation of two characters, right? So you could see it did the AI did like a summary here of what Adam and Sam discussed and what Sam was wanting. Now, depending on the package that you have, you can go into here and hit, well, depending on the package you have, I should say you have to pay for some packages that you could extract the transcript. They may let you record the calls, but you may need to pay for transcripts. So I'll just continue going through this to show you how you can move forward. Alright team, so just wanted to clarify that little part. Make sure you have a pro account so you could easily come into whatever platform you have. So in this instance here, I will click the copy button here and I copy the entire transcript. Now what I'm going to do here, for example, is to go into ChatGPT. Now you could go into Claude or whatever AI platform that is your preference, but we go with the standards that have been working for us thus far. Now you have several opportunities or several options. You can have a dedicated proposal creator. Okay, so for instance, with our account, if we go to explore GPTs and we see some of the list of GPTs that you will have access to, and we could say we go to market, or we have a proposal generator. You could create these custom proposals here, and you could start, and you could easily just come here and hit enter. But before we go into that, I just want to show you something. In the background here, we have created some light instructions on what this GPT could focus on. Give it the detailed instructions on how it should be crafting or serving you as your second brain. Additionally, you might want to add documents that explain your products in detail, what it does, how it serves, what type of service, so that the GPT could scan that information and get the right kind of context of how to do certain messaging. Ideally, if you have a certain template structure that you want to work with, you can use that. And I'll show you what's the purpose of having something like that. So let's just say we came into a random chat here and we have the entire transcript just tossed in. You don't specify what model, right? Now you can have this here, and the way you can craft the prompt: I need a business proposal for this client named Sam. And here you could say, please assess this transcript for details on what Sam's needs are. Do not divert from what he needs and try to sell him anything that is not within my business's capacity. So that's the little guardrail. And then you have for context. For context, this was the discussion between Adam and Sam. So I could come here and hit now. Now, as you can see, it is crafting its own structure of what a proposal should look like. It should have some reference material that ChatGPT was trained on. And as you can see, it's building out some offers here, the types of investments. Now, mind you, in the background of all of this, we would have had instructions for this GPT on how to function, and it would have been scanning our products as well, so it'll have that structure. So everything is based on the quality of your knowledge base. Now, that's one way you could do it. You could also have a custom GPT that's built around certain instructions, and you just need to come and throw in your transcript, because it would have gotten those series of instructions that I put in that last chat. So you see, just for a little moment, it showed searching knowledge, and it has a structure, it has a disciplined status of how we will do these transactions. So that chat was about Sam with, wanting to sell horseshoes, and it's going down in detail, breaking down the scope of work. It also has some of the knowledge of what products we'll be selling at that time. So sometimes you have to be very specific on the quality of the way that the content is labeled in the knowledge base as well, so it doesn't take liberty of putting unnecessary prices, and you carry it through this entire process here. Now, for another way that you could go about doing this, you could go about creating projects. So in ChatGPT, you have this particular way here. You can create an entire project. So for instance, we have projects that has a series of ways of crafting content, the goals and whatnot, right, on how this project should be focused on. So the project in itself is like a GPT of its own, right? It is a project manager of sorts. So you have different project managers for different things that you want to output. Now the beauty about doing projects in ChatGPT is that you could get access to different models once you engage in it at a certain point when you initiate certain types of instructions. Some models are not available depending on what the scope of work is. Again, project files. So if your project is around creating proposals, it should be around your products, different types of proposals that you do. So you might have proposals for C-suite executives, you might have proposals for small businesses, for enterprise level clients or whatnot, or for one-on-one consultation. You might have different types of proposals. So if you come here now and you see, and you throw this in and you hit enter, remember you can get very specific on how you want the proposals to come out, right? So this might be a different variation. It works with the date, the time, gives an executive overview, right? So it's like, Sam, thank you for sharing your story and vision. So you could craft different, how you want different parts of your, how you want to communicate this idea to your prospect. If you want it to be super professional, depending on your clients, if you want it a little bit more heartfelt, and let them be seen. There's a beauty in crafting your messaging in this, the way how your brand speaks, letting the client be felt and heard coming off from a call with you. When you do that, they see that you're heard. Now, in addition to just having that call, go on their website, have someone do some background research, check out their LinkedIn, check out their social media posts, identify something that is unique to them, that is part of their personal brand message. They might have like a keyword or how they reference something, and that helps resonate with the prospect as well. So when you do that, have all of that built in. You could build out the scope of work, the length of time it takes, you get into the cost of the investment, and you could also create like a metric based on what market industry costs are for certain types of services and what you are helping them save in terms of value, time, energy, effort, or cost of hiring labor. And you work and you calculate that as well into your proposal. You can craft this however you see fit to get that message across for them to buy into your product or service. And with that, you could just copy that and you could come into a template in Canva, or you have a designer, you hire someone who's a VA, and you come into this here and you craft something beautiful in your color scheme, your brand messaging, your logos, and you connect with them on that deeper level. So they feel like they're getting something that's not just a cut and paste document, depending on who your audience is. So this concludes my tutorial here, and if you have any other questions, feel free to comment and reach out to us on this particular proposal generation process, and I'll see you in the next one.